tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sattahi bhikkhave angehi samannagato mitto sevitabbo katamehi sattahi duddadati dukkharam karoti dukkhammang khamati guihamassa avi karoti guihang assa pariguhati apadasuna jahati Kinena nyati manyati imehi ko bhikkhave sattahangehi samanagato mitto sevitabboti. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Dear Dhamma friends, today at the Buddhi Vihara Sila program, I'm honored to be invited to this Dhamma session. I really am thankful and grateful to Venerable Chandima and also Venerable Amar Buddhi and all the Mahasangha members and the devotees and friends and well-wishers of the Buddhi Vihara temple. So today I have a topic here to discuss with you. I think this will be very helpful to all of us, to myself and to all of you as well. So, admirable friendship. I would like to ask if you have friends. I'm sure you all have friends, right? You all have friends. Do you? Okay. And apart from having friends, we also need to know sometimes, despite having so many friends, do you still feel alone in life? Yes. Sometimes, right? It happens. Let's say like you are very sad or you are even very angry, then you don't want to be among the friends. You don't want to be among others. You just want to be yourself, secluded, isolated. You want to heal yourself. Sometimes it happens. So for us, I think that self-care part is very, very important. So who is a friend to you? Who is a friend? That's a question that I want to keep it to yourself and ask yourself, who is a friend? We have a very popular saying in the world, a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? In the introduction, Venerable Chandima also introduced my name. My name is Sumitta. Do you know the meaning of Sumitta? Sumitta means good friend. And many Theravada Buddhists also know how to recite this beautiful, very popular Pali stanza. If you know it, you can also join me. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Do you know the meaning? By the power of this merit, Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo, may I never be associated with foolish friends, unworthy friends. Satang samagamo hotu, may I always be surrounded, associated with wonderful kalyana mitta friends. Yava nibbana patya, as long as I attain the final liberation, the nibbana, the perfect enlightenment, until then, may I always be associated with wonderful kalyana mitta friends. Another very popular sutta, I think you know that. Probably many of you know that. That is called Mangala Sutta. Do you know Mangala Sutta? Mangala Sutta has 38 Mangala factors, 38 auspicious Dhammas. And do you know the first one? Asevanacha balana. In our life, we should never have the balas, or bala does not here mean like minors. That means minors in age, but actually it is the foolish people that can lead us to many downfalls in our life. So, asevanacha balanam, we have to first avoid the foolish friends. Buddhism has somehow very interesting way of analyzing and defining things. You know, like even in 5 precepts, you say panatipata veramani, right? Abstaining from killing living beings. And first thing is to abstain from killing living beings. And then only we have to cultivate, develop wholesome deeds. And the second one also, abstain from taking things not given. And then we have to practice the good side of it. And abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from forced speech, abstain from drinks and drugs that cause intoxication or heedlessness. You see, in Buddhism, we have, this is called virati sila, abstaining. Over here, we also need to abstain from foolish friends. And asevanacha balanam, second one, panditanancha sevana, then we need to associate with the wise. First thing, we need to get rid of those foolish people. And second, we need to associate with wonderful kalyana mitta friends. It is not the, as Venerable Chandima mentioned, the degrees that I have that matters. It is not that pandita or that wise person. It has nothing to do with that knowledge, in fact. It is the wholesome heart, someone's wonderful qualities, moral values. That is the one which is very important in deciding Pandita, a Kalyana Mitta, a Sappurisa, or a spiritual friend, okay, a spiritually rich friend. In some suttas, it is also mentioned as Kalyana Mitta, and Kalyana Mitta has also different definitions and in different suttas. I will discuss it also later on. So it is important. The first step for us to progress in our life is to avoid the foolish people and then associate with the wonderful Kalyana Mitra friend. Remember, in your life, you will find more foolish people than Kalyana Mitra friends, right? Many people around us are not all the time good ones. And actually, many people are not really helpful ones. But there are very wonderful, very powerful Kalyana Mitra friends. The best Kalyana Mitra friend we have actually should be the Buddha himself, the perfectly enlightened. So today we have his wonderful Dhamma, the noble doctrine, his teaching. Even after 2,500 years, we are still being benefited by that wonderful Kalyana Mitra's Dhamma teaching. So it's really the perfectly enlightened one is the first and foremost Kalyana Mitra friend. And after that, we can have Arahanta friends, we can have the enlightened ones, Buddha's disciples who have attained enlightenment. And then we can have Anagami friends, that is the non-returners. And then we can have Sakadagami friends, they are once returners. And then we can have Sotapanna friends, the one who entered the stream enterers. So they are all called Arya or Kalyana Mitra friends, noble friends. If we don't have such people, it is so hard, of course, to find such wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends, because they can be very humble and simple. Even if there are Arahanta friends today in the world, we can say no. There can be, I think there should be some Arahanta friends in the world too. But they do not advertise. They do not come to the television and say, I am an Arahanta person. They would be so humble and so simple, and they would live more in isolation or seclusion, and they would live a very humble and simple life. You might not even recognize them. But if you are wise enough, you might know that they are so full of wonderful spiritual values. Then you need to associate with such people, such monks or nuns or such other lay practitioners. There can be some wonderful friends. So if someone is not yet attained the Arahanthood or any of these status, but they are still working hard, they are still working on their way to that spiritual upliftment or spiritual perfection, then we call them Puthujjana Kalyanaka. Puthujjana Kalyanaka means they are still mundane, average people like you and I, but they are working on their way. They are very concerned. They make some effort to attain that spiritual liberation. So they are called Puthujjana Kalyanaka. Among us, we can also find such wonderful friends. Maybe at the temple, maybe in your Dhamma hall right here, right now, there can be such wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends. So we need to know, actually, we need to recognize them. That is the most important thing. There is one sutta called Mitta Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya 7.35, and there are 7 factors that we can recognize a Kalyana Mitra friend, a good friend. Actually. According to that, these friends are doing something really wonderful. The Buddha says, monks, a friend endowed with 7 qualities is worth associating with. What are those 7 qualities? He gives what is hard to give. And do not feel inferior. If I say like he only, it could be he or she, okay? So our wonderful female devotees, friends also can be included into this. So the Buddha mostly addressed the monks, but it doesn't mean that he has forgotten the nuns or the female disciples or followers. So he gives what is hard to give. He does what is hard to do. He endures what is hard to endure. He reveals his secrets to you. He keeps your secrets. When misfortunes strike, he doesn't abandon you. When you are down and out, he doesn't look down on you. A friend endowed with these 7 qualities is worth associating with. Okay, now you can at least have some general idea what should be a good friend look like. Maybe it's in you. You have these qualities. Maybe all these 7 beautiful qualities are right here, right with you. Maybe some of them are missing in you. If you notice that some of these qualities are missing in me, then you need to inculcate them. You need to cultivate, develop from now onwards. If you have these qualities already in you, you can improve them more, progress them more. That is what we should do. And that way, you can be a wonderful Kalyana Mitra friend. So, in life, if you feel alone, don't worry. The Buddha said in Khaggavisana Sutta, Eko chare Khaggavisana kapo. Khaggavisana is the one-horned rhino. In India, northeastern part of India, I have visited the state called Assam, and they have a wildlife sanctuary where we can see the world's first one-horned rhinos, only one-horned rhinos in India. So, Eko chare Khaggavisana kapo means the rhino is mostly living alone. He lives alone. And remember, if you have to live alone, then what should you do? You have to be stronger. You have to fight with lions in the jungle. You have to fight with tigers and other predators all the time. Have you seen some of the rhinos are fighting even with 10 lions all by himself? They are so strong. Their skin is so strong that even the lions can't infiltrate. So, if you don't have friends capable enough to lead you, guide you, a potential good spiritual friends, then do not worry. Keep yourself, live alone, in seclusion, in isolation, away from such foolish friends who can lead you to the downfall. Rather than that, you stay alone and be strong within, just like a rhino, one-horned rhino who can live all by himself and fight against all odds, fight his enemy. So be confident. You need to have that self-confidence. If you don't have good friends, then stay alone. That is so much the better for you. But in life, from time to time, we need to find them, because mostly we humans are social beings. We normally don't stay alone. Unless we really have a situation where you don't really have anyone whatsoever, And then in that case, you can stay alone. Otherwise, humans have a potential to talk with the other people. Unlike the other animals and any other species in the world, any other sentient beings in the world, humans have the most cutting edge, advanced communication tool called language. With that language, we can share our wisdom with the others. That is why we can learn from the others. That is why we can read our history. And that is why we can progress as a better civilization than any other species in the world. So, as humans, we are mostly social beings. We like to talk to people. And so if we need to talk to people, we also have to be careful not to be associated with foolish people. So be mindful in talking to people. And also, if you are stronger enough, if you are a much better Kalyana Mitta friends, of course, you can even help the foolish people too. But if you are not stronger enough, then it is advisable that you stay away from them, because you can be better influenced by the negative friends. Then the negative friend is influenced by your positive attitude. So you need to weigh each side of this question. If you know that you are not strong enough to cope up with that situation with negative friends, stay away from them. That is the idea. So finding a good friend is a really, really important thing. So if you want to be a good friend, remember, you have to give what is hard to give. You have to do what is hard to do. You have to endure the painful. And you have to keep your friend's secrets. Do not tell everyone this secret to everyone. And you can also share your secrets with the trusted friends like them. And sometimes your friends might not be all perfect. They might do mistakes. To err is human. So they might do mistakes, and they might be blamed by the society just due to some reason. But then you should not abandon them. When they are down and out, you should not look down on them. You have to help them. You have to be with them still. So this is how you yourself first have to be a wonderful, good Kalyana Mitta friends. And then in return, you will have so many wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends all around you. And also, I highly recommend that you continue to recite that beautiful Pali stanza that I said before, that we all recited before. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana patya. May I always be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. May I be away from the evil, foolish friends who can lead me to the downfall. And until my final liberation, may I always be surrounded by, guided by, led by wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. You need to repeat that. You need to pray for Kalyana Mitta friends every single day. If you do it, remember, you will get them. You will meet them, you will find them wherever you are. Even in the midst of the jungle, you will find Kalyana Mitta friends coming to you. Help will come to you from nowhere. That is the power of your own being trying to make yourself a good Kalyana Mitta friend. You cultivate those Kalyana Mitta friends qualities in you, and then you will get the help from your Kalyana Mitra friends, you don't know. Maybe seen and unseen, remember that. Not only seen Kalyana friends, Mitra friends, but also unseen Kalyana Mitra friends can be there in the world. Maybe there can be Deva, celestial beings, or any other spiritual or any other sentient beings. They can be with you when you are in need of some help. So just be yourself. Try to be a good Kalyana Mitra friend yourself. That way you can actually find many Kalyana Mitra friends all throughout your life. And I would like to also mention there are certain suttas actually that I have selected today, but I don't know if I can read all of them, share the content of all of them. But some of the suttas, like in the Upadda Sutta, for example, Samyutta Nikaya 45.2, Venerable Ananda once come to the Buddha, bowed to him and sat to one side, and he said, Upaddamidam Bhante Brahmacharyam Yadidang Kalyana Mittata Kalyana Sahayata Kalyana Sampavankata. He said, this is half of the holy life, the Blessed One, and the admirable friendship, oh Lord, admirable companionship, admirable camaraderie. So the friends can, the Kalyana Mitra friends consist or occupy 50% of this noble sasana, Venerable Ananda said to the Buddha. And then the Buddha said, Mahevang Ananda, Mahevang Ananda, don't say Ananda like that. Don't say Ananda like that. Sakala mevidang Ananda Brahmacharyang, Yadidang Kalyana Mittata, Kalyana Sahayata, Kalyana Sampavankata, Kalyana Mittasetang Ananda Bhikkhuno Partikankang, Kalyana Sahayasa, Kalyana Sampavankasa, Aryang Attangikang Maggang Bhavesati, Aryang Attangikang Maggang Bahuli Karesati. So over here, the Buddha gives another definition, another definition to the Kalyana Mitra. When Venerable Ananda says 50% of the sasana occupies the Kalyana Mitra, depend on the Kalyana Mitra or the good, admirable friendship, the Buddha said it is not 50%, but 100%. Absolutely 100% of the sasana totally depend on Kalyana Mitra, admirable friendship. Who are these admirable friends? Who can lead you to practice the Noble Eightfold Path? Those Kalyana Mitras should lead you to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. So in this Noble Eightfold Path practice, we have 4 things: Viveka, Viraga, Nirodha, and Vasagga Parinam. Each and every factor of this Noble Eightfold Path should be occupied with these 4 qualities. So the Buddha, when the Ananda talked to him about this, Buddha said, how does a monk who has admirable people as friends, companions, and comrades develop and pursue the Noble Eightfold Path? There is the case where a monk develops right view, Samma Ditti. So if you practice Samma Ditti, your Samma Ditti should be preoccupied with those 4 qualities, dependent on seclusion, Viveka, Viveka Nisito. Dependent on dispassion, viraga nisito. Dependent on cessation, nirodha nisito. And resulting in relinquishment. That is the Vassagga Parinam. So these four qualities should be there when you practice Sammaditthi, right view. Remember, every one of us have to practice Noble Eightfold Path if we want to attain the final liberation. And in the Noble Eightfold Path, the first factor is right view. Right view is the first and foremost factor that we need to inculcate, develop, cultivate within us. And because it is like a navigation. Let's say you want to go somewhere. You want to go from San Jose to San Francisco or some other remote area that you are not comfortable, you are not familiar with the route. Then how do you go there? With the help of the Google map. That is the navigation. And when you have the navigation will help you go to your destination in the fastest possible way, avoiding all the hassles on the way, right? So that is like Sammaditthi. When you have Sammaditthi will lead you to your final liberation. And Sammaditthi should be there in advance before practicing all the other factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. And then again, this Viveka Nisita and Viraga Nisita, Nirodha Nisita, and also the Vassagga Parinama. These four factors should be there, dependent on seclusion, dependent on dispassion, dependent on cessation, and resulting in relinquishment. These things should be there in practicing all the each and every factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. So, Kalyana Mitta, again, the Buddha talks more about the Kalyana Mitta, how because of the Buddha himself being such a wonderful Kalyana Mitta friend, everyone who is born here in this world and who are conditioned to die in this world, who are conditioned to decay in this world, grow old in this world, and also who are conditioned to undergo a lot of sufferings, lot of misery, lot of wailing, crying, in so many depression, stresses, and all those things, all the sentient beings, because of me as a Kalyana Mitta friend, because of my Kalyana Mitta quality, all those people could get rid of these factors. So they were able to somehow get rid of these miseries. It is in dependence on me as an admirable friend that being subject to birth have gained release from birth, that being subject to aging have gained release from aging, that being subject to death have gained release from death, that being subject to sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair have gained release from sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair. It is through this line of reasoning that one may know how admirable friendship, Kalyana Mitta, admirable companionship, admirable camaraderie is actually the whole of the holy life. 100%, absolutely 100% of the entire sasana. That is why the Buddha said, Venerable Ananda, don't say only 50%. And there are many other suttas also explaining these things in detail. Majjhima Nikaya 95, Anguttara Nikaya 4.192, Anguttara Nikaya 8.54, Anguttara Nikaya 9.1, Udana 4.1, and Itivuttaka 17, and many more places, especially some discourses where we can find more information about this topic. And for example, in the Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 8.54, that is Digha Janu, or we popularly know it as Vyagapajya Sutta. And so Digha Janu is actually the meaning of the word is he had long knees. That means he should have been a taller person. So Digha Janu means taller person, taller knees, taller legs. Okay, so one day this person came to the Buddha, and in the discussion with him, the Buddha actually, it's a long discussion, but I would only quote about the Kalyana Mitta things that the Buddha quoted here. Katamacha Bhaggapajya Kalyana Mittata Idha Bhaggapajya Kulaputto Yasmin Gameva Nigameva Pativasati Tathat Yete Honti Gahapativa Gahapati Puttava Daharava Buddha Silino Buddhava Buddha Silino Saddha Sampanno Sila Sampanno Chaga Sampanno Panya Sampanno Te Sadding Santitati Sallapati Sakachang Samapajyati Yata Rupanang Saddha Sampannanang Saddha Sampadang Anusikkati Yata Rupanang Sila Sampannanang Sila Sampadang Anusikkati Yata Rupanang Chaga Sampannanang Chaga Sampadang Anusikkati Yata Rupanang Panya Sampannanang Panya Sampadang Anusikkati Ayang Vucchati Vyagapajya Kalyana Mittata. And what is meant by admirable friendship? There is the case where a layperson in whatever town or village he may dwell spends time with householders or householders' son, young or old, who are advanced in virtue. Remember, even if a virtuous person much younger to you can be a wonderful Kalyana Mitta friend. He talks with them, engages them in discussion. He emulates consummate conviction, saddha, in those who are consummate in conviction. So when you see that their saddha or their conviction is much more, you try to assimilate, you try to learn, you try to emulate, consummate from their saddha. So sometimes in the Dhamma hall today, you must have seen certain devotees are more advanced in their saddha. So you have to learn from them. You have to also practice like them. Oh, this person is so full of saddha. And you have to appreciate that. You have to also learn and also inculcate within yourself. And that is how we become, we improve our Kalyana Mitta. And then consummate virtue in those who are consummating virtue. Same with the Sila. Maybe they are 5 Pancha Sila, you know. Some of them are much more advanced in certain Sila. Maybe if we say like all the 8 precepts, today you probably have observed 8 precepts. Regularly we observe 5 precepts, and even then certain Sila, certain virtues, certain precepts are not stronger in some. Some precepts are stronger, some are little weaker. Let's say some people like to drink a little bit alcohol, but other precepts are okay, but they somehow cannot get rid of this habit. And some people are very kind and compassionate, but they tell little lies. They have a habit of telling lies. So you need to know among your friends, there are some people who do not tell lies, who do not, even among all the wrong friends, all the parties, wherever he or she goes, but they know how to avoid alcohol, drinks and drugs that cause intoxication or heedlessness. So they have that confidence, they have that discipline. When you recognize such wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends, you need to learn from them. Same thing, some people do not hurt anyone, not even a mosquito. Mosquito can be a very irritating insect. A lot of people are very shocked or very much irritated by the mere sound of a buzzing sound of the mosquito. I would say mosquito also can be compared to beautiful music. The buzzing sound of the mosquito, you can think, oh, it is music. It's a beautiful music. So you do not react to that mentally. You are not reacting to that sound, music, so that you can actually control yourself, which is very important for us. And so you don't get angry, you don't get panic, you don't get restless, and then you can become a very compassionate person. Remember, most of the time when we get angry, our blood already becomes toxic. So even before the mosquito bites you, you already have intoxicated. You already have polluted your blood. And so it's just a matter of one bite from the mosquito and you get sick. But if you don't panic, there are lots and lots of mosquitoes especially in Asia. And if you see some of those forest monks, they just donate their blood like countless ways, and they don't panic. And most of the time, they are okay. The Buddha himself lived in the jungle. Buddha never got any malaria or any other disease from these insects or snake bites or whatsoever. Why? Because they were so full of compassion and loving kindness. And the loving kindness and compassion is something that you can really communicate with the wild animals. They really feel, they are hypersensitive. If someone is posing threat to their life, they are very sensitive. They are much more alert in the jungle. So they know if someone is an aggressive person or a person full of loving kindness, whether it is an elephant or whether it is a snake, a venomous snake, or whatever other wild animals, they threat you. They can be life-threatening to you when you are having some, mental defilements. If you are full of loving kindness, they already know this person is not going to harm you. So, this way you need to learn from your friends that if they are following, if they are practicing, I should also learn from them. That is how you can become a wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends. So, Saddha, Sila, and then also Chaga, generosity. When you see consummate generosity in those who are consummate in generosity, there are some people who are so generous, and it is amazing. They don't have much, but they are so wonderful, so pure in their heart. And when they practice generosity, they can be cut above the rest. You can learn from such people and how you become so generous and so pure in your heart, and you enjoy being generous wherever you are. Whenever there is an opportunity to give, you need to practice. In our Buddhist literature, we have a powerful deva called Sakka. He is the king of gods. And this god, Sakka, sometimes it is said he would bow to this Mother Earth, the earth, the humans, because there can be some people who practice 5 precepts, who are respectful to others' life, who are respectful to others' property, who are respectful to others' family life, and who are very sincere and honest, practicing truthfulness, and also who are away from drinks and drugs that cause intoxication or heedlessness. Every single day, once a day, he would bow to the humans who practice these things, it is said. And sometimes it is said he would descend here and in disguise, maybe as a homeless person, maybe like a drug addict, you don't know. Next time if you see them, just remind this, okay? There can be a deva in disguise right in front of you to check whether you are generous or not. Or you are trying to find some excuse. Oh, this is a homeless person. He has a perfect body, and why should I help him? Or if you continue to feed these people, and they will only end up getting drugs, or they will never improve. And if you continue to find such excuses, you will never ever be able to practice your real generosity. Remember, they are there to test your generosity. Okay, so you don't worry about what they do. You worry about your time left. Maybe like the next minute, you might meet with an accident and you might die. You leave that opportunity to practice generosity. You might miss that golden opportunity. So do not underestimate. And also never look down upon those people because of their looks. Do not judge them. They might be much more improved in their spiritual capacity. Even if they don't have enough clothes or enough food, they might be much more better off when it comes to spiritual upbringing. There can be very wonderful, honest, sincere, and really truthful people among those people who don't have food, who don't have shelter, but they can be very, very wonderful people too. So we should not judge in advance. And if there is an opportunity for us to practice, we should practice. And when you see your friends practicing generosity much better, you should wholeheartedly keep your palms together, close to your heart, and say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. What does it mean? Sympathetic joy, mudita. You see the other person's goodness, wholesome quality, and you also enjoy that bliss of some other's wonderful quality. That way we can become actually also equal shareholders of that wonderful merit. So mudita is a beautiful practice too. When you see some others doing a good thing, you need to appreciate and also inculcate within you, I'm also going to be someone like that. This is exactly how all the Buddhas, having seen the other perfectly enlightened ones in their samsara, they also appreciated and they also thought of them mentally. Why should I not become a Buddha like him? Do you know how many Buddhas that the good Buddha Gautama met before? 512,000 Buddhas, it is said. So many Buddhas, not only those 24 Buddhas actually. We know 28 Buddhas, but there were so many Buddhas. So by meeting them, all of us, must have met so many Buddhas before. And so we also thought, oh, I wish I could also be a Buddha like him. I also become a Sariputta, the first disciple of the Buddha. Or like Venerable Moggallana, who is foremost among the mystic powers. Imagine, like a lot of people like these jhanic superpowers, supernatural powers, like Batman and Superman. So they are like They might think, oh, I wish I could also have such qualities in me. So when you see them, actually, mentally, you also appreciate and also inspire yourself. You can motivate yourself to be one like that. All those noble disciples, actually, by seeing the others, appreciated, and they also wanted to be one like them. So Kalyana Mittata can be much more meaningful this way. Eventually, consummate discernment, the panya, in those who are consummate in discernment. So when you see someone who is more wise, more understanding, who can realize, who can actually see the Dhamma very clearly, you need to learn from them. You need to learn from them. And that way, our life can be much more beneficial, benefited from the Kalyana Mitta, friends. My alarm says 5 minutes left. So I would like to conclude today's Dhamma session. I hope this was helpful to all of you. And there are many more wonderful suttas in the whole Tipitaka. I do have a book here we call Piruvana Pottuhanse, the protective chanting book. Actually, in this book, page number 28, there is a beautiful sutta called Mittani Sansa, the benefits of friends. And there are 10 stanzas that talks about how you become benefited when you do not betray friends. I would like to actually just run through this wonderful sutta and conclude today's session. Please keep your palms together and then listen to this chanting. Vahota bakho bhavati vipautho sakaghara bahunang upajivanti omitanang madubhati yang yang jana padang yati nigame rajdhaniyo sabbatha pujito hoti yomitanang madubhati Nasa chora pasahanti nati manyeti kathiyo sabbe amite tarati yomithanam madubhati akuddho sagharangeti sabhaya patinandito jnatinam uttamo hoti yomithanam madubhati Sakatva sakkato hoti garu hoti sagaravo vanna kitti bhato hoti yomittanam madubhati pujako labhate pujang vandako pativandanam yaso kitting cha pappoti yomittanam madubhati Agyatha pajjalati devatava virochati siriyaja hito hoti yomittanam nadubhati gavo tassa pajayanti kette vuttang virohati uttanam phalamasnati yomittanam nadubhati Darito pabbatato arukhato patito naro chuto patithang labati yomittanam nadubhati virolha mula santanam nigrodhamiva maluto amittana pasahanti yomittanam nadubhati. This sutta is a wonderful presentation of the qualities of how when you are benefited, when you do not betray friends, wherever you go, you will have the protection and safety. Insurance is guaranteed when you have friends around, and you will never be in short of food or any other thing in life when you have friends. When you do not betray friends. So the idea here is to try to make ourselves a wonderful Kalyana Mitra friends. Try to learn these qualities that you learn today and inculcate those wonderful qualities within you. And hopefully, you yourself can be a walking Kalyana Mitra friends wherever you go. So you will never be in short of other Kalyana Mitra friends, and you will have the protection, guidance, and help and assistance whenever, wherever you are in need of it. Okay? With that, I conclude. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. May the power of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha be with you all. May you always be safe and protected wherever you are. May no harm come to you from water, fire, air. May all your family, friends, near and dear ones, teachers and elders, everyone in your family, everyone in your neighborhood, everyone in your community, and everyone in the world. Be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are. May the Noble Triple Gem bless you, help you, protect you, and guide you towards the right path. May the Mahasangha members, may all the devotees, friends, relatives of Buddhi Vihara, and may all of us and all your departed ones, all sentient beings, including Devas, Brahmas, be able to live our life peacefully, comfortably, with good health, and may all of us be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the absolute peace and happiness at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together close to your heart and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindrika punyam tang anumoditva chirang rakhantu loka sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindrika punyam tang anumoditva chirang rakhantu dhamma desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahindrika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang parang. Abhivadana silis nichang vaddha pachaino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti yaminate samidhyatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Also, for your information, all the suttas that I discussed today, I will post them in our website. You can take a look at Dhamma, www.dhammausa.org and .com. So you will find more information there with these suttas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, most venerable Dr. Bhante Sumitta Andro, for taking your time and then so preserving time and taking your time to teach Dhamma to all the devotees of our temple. We really appreciate that. And on behalf of my master Bhante Buddhi and all the Sangha members of Buddhi Vihara and the devotees, we sincerely share our we sincerely share our gratefulness with you, and then we wish that by the power of all the positive energy that we accumulated here, we wish that may may Bhante's all the Dhamma activities that you do. So all the international Dhamma activities that you do, may all those activities go very successful. May you have a long life, and may you gain good health, and may you gain beauty, mental and physical strength, comfort, and wisdom. And practicing the Dhamma path, may Bhante be able to attain the real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much. Bin Sumitta. Tiruvan Sannayan, Mangkolian Dinan Devila. Tiruvan.